identical twins that own pets. What was your pet's reaction when they saw your twin? My mum has cats, and I don't think they can tell my sister and I apart. Also of note, I don't think my 3-year-old nephew can tell my sister and I apart. I think he just believes he has one very attentive on. Honestly, their reaction isn't that notable. Pretty sure the differences in our sense are distinguishable enough for them to not freak out about. Two identical-looking people, that or my dog is just thoroughly and impressed by my twin law. My cat thinks we're the same person. She used to get visibly confused when we were in the same room together, but has now basically figured out that we're different people who just look the same. So my cat is super skittish, doesn't like anybody, and by the time my husband and I moved into our second apartment together, she was finally cool with him. Then one day, his brother came over. He was standing in the living room with me while my husband was in the kitchen. Stella trots out, thinking Momma and Daddy are here. She comes and snuggles me on the couch and pays no nevermind to brother-in-law until she sees husband in the kitchen. Suddenly, she's a statue, showing off those oshit eyes. None of us move, because we all have realized a mistake. She slowly stands up, slides down the couch like a piece of slime, and, getting as low as she can to the floor, creeps her way back into the bedroom. After which, we all, poor baby Joe, I didn't see her again till bedtime. I don't have a twin, but my sister and I look and sound pretty similar. She gave me her cat several years ago, and I'm 99% sure he didn't even register that he got a new owner. Even though I lived with 3 other people at the time, he started following me around and sleeping on my bed day one without paying any mind to anyone else. She's only visited the cat a few times since, but he always acts super confused any time it happens, like he can't tell which of us is his human. My twin sister and I grew up with pet goats. None of them ever mixed us up. We had certain goats that liked one of us better than the other and could always tell which one was which when they came up for pet. My sister went off to work across the country for a year while I stayed on the farm, and the goat that loved her best always came up to me like she used to do for my sister. But I think that she knew we both missed my sister and wanted to comfort me rather than miss us up, because once my sister came home she didn't do that as much. Identical twin here. This is maybe not technically a pet, but I think it's close enough. I worked at a summer horse camp during college. Some of the more spirited horses would kind of act up with people they didn't know well, to see if they could get away with stupid shit, nothing major. Just like refusing to really put effort into events, stopping on trails to eat random plants constantly, etc. The barn staff rode the horses enough that they wouldn't really challenge us, since they knew we would not let them get away with it. Anyway, my brother came up to visit one day, and we wondered the same thing as this question. He's also a good rider, so we put him on one of our more ornery horses, who normally would be a general dick to anyone who hadn't ridden her before. My brother had 0 issues. Same with all of the other horses we had him ride. It was pretty great action. We had a very young foal there at the time, probably about 3 months old. My brother and I stood on either side of him and pet him at the same time. He was so confused. Good times. Those were some great memories. Thanks for the question, Op. It was fun remembering all of the shenanigans I got up to back then. I'm an identical twin, and I've never thought of this hard. Now, I wonder if my dogs have ever gotten confused and I just didn't notice it. One thing I noticed is they will beg from her way more often than they beg from me. I wonder if they know I won't give them scraps/human food, but they think maybe she will. Just tested this last month with my husband and his twins. Our dog is a 2-year-old love, for the record. Doggy had met the brother once before a full year earlier, so we didn't think she would remember him. When brother arrived, My husband left the house so we could stage an entrance. We told the twin to walk in and call for Doggy the way husband does. When the doorknob stated turning, I told our dog, "Oh, look, husband is home." The twin walked and called for Doggy. And for a full 5 seconds Doggy was so excited to see him. She was waggling and ran over to greet him, ... But when she sniffed him, her whole demeanour changed. She knew it was not husband, and instead an imposter. She got super angry. I had to step in and make sure things didn't get too heated. I think our dog was fooled for a few seconds, but she could almost always tell them apart after the first meeting. There were a few times I think she thought the twin was my husband from a distance, but never up close. I did just want to add that I can also tell my husband and his brother apart by smell. In college, I knew which person was home just by walking in their apartment and taking a good whiff. I know his brother's wife can't do this, so I'm thinking maybe a rejects man. Well, I was a baby, so I don't remember personally, but my parents loved telling the story about our dog running from one crying baby in a crib to the other, back and forth, all while looking really confused. I guess we would cry in turns and not together. So he wasn't sure if there was one or two of us for the longest time.